podcast with, for a
Woo!
change, Jopke is the one who's late, but I see he's coming in now.
He's probably just off the golf course.
Yeah, he just came back from the golf
Can you
course.
see me?
No, we don't see you. Now we do.
Now
Hey,
we do.
Hello,
How are
hello.
you, Jopke?
good. I was late because I need my bucky.
You need your bucky.
Mm,
I need my
You need
bucky
your
coffee.
bucky. Bucky coffee.
I just finished it. Becky coffee.
Hey, nice,
Coffee, it's
nice
coffee
cups.
time.
I have those at home, but then a black one.
Same one?
Okay.
Is
The
it from
same
the
one, yeah. It's
action?
from the action or something.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
It's just handy because that reminds me what goes in it. Oh, that's the coffee one because it says coffee on it.
Exactly. It's like the cans with sugar on it and tea. It's like,
Yes,
that's what goes in it.
it's like people who have in their house. They have like on the wall. They have it home, so they
It's
remember
like
where they are.
it's, it's useful for DJs though to know when it's home. It's like, oh, this is home.
Exactly. That's one of the best tips I've ever gotten. Write in your home that it's your home.
Exactly. Hey, we've got quite
It
a
was
few people in the
a
live
weird
chat from
joke, but yeah.
all over the world. We've got people from the US, people from where is it?
Good
3 p.m.
morning.
Where 3 p.m. Where could that be? England? I'm not sure. 8 a.m. in New York. What's up? What's up? Fresh Coast Chess Show. JB Strive, Ben Singh for you. Israel Carter, Bit3, Jaco, Melodramatic. Hey,
Hey,
Melodramatic. Hope you're doing well,
you
man.
know what I
We
decided to just do? I
what?
decided to subscribe to the artist coaching on YouTube.
I did the same thing last week. I was on my
Nice.
personal profile. I was like, I'm not even subscribed. Like,
You know what I just thought? I was like, I always go to like artist coach. I have to search on YouTube, and I'm like, why doesn't it pop up on my homepage, especially when you're live, when we are
100%
live?
that Ralph is gonna check now.
And then I wasn't
Yeah, well,
subscribed.
I, I, I'm subscribed. Yeah,
Nice.
With
already.
okay,
Base
perfect,
checkers.
perfect, perfect.
It's how I roll, guys. But hey, better late than never.
Hey, true, but the quality of
True.
your mic sounds a bit trashy, as in low, like low bitrate on my end. But I'm not sure if that's the mic or if it's just me.
Hello. Is everybody reading me loud and
It
clear?
sounds okay. Sounds okay.
Okay, then it's probably me.
I just missed my plop cup from artist coaching, but
Guys, we forgot it.
the how do you call that in English? It's a word, different word for it.
Covers or something? Mic mounts.
A pop
I don't know.
filter or something?
Pop filter, yeah, that could be.
I think.
I actually yesterday I ordered all the equipment for the podcast studio. I ordered a shit ton of lights. I ordered camera stands, micro
Did you
micro.
order like UV lights so we can tan?
I
Wow!
got you.
That would be nice. And then do
I
the
got you.
podcast like naked.
In towels.
Wow!
In towels.
And we're back to OnlyFans again. This
Yeah.
is the shit. Yeah. And you
New
can only
goddamn
watch
record.
us on OnlyFans naked.
No, this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna have AI dress us live, real time, so that then if you pay, you can get that off. So you pay us if you want to see
Or
us naked.
on Riverside, we have this angle, and on
We have this
yeah,
angle from
exactly. We
here.
have like the
You
full
only
angle.
see the balls.
Exactly. Wow, that escalated quickly.
Welcome
Anyway,
to the
Yeah.
Artist Coaching
yeah.
Podcast.
How
Hey,
how are you guys?
Well,
good,
I mean,
good.
OnlyFans is not only for porn, right? It's like a
No.
fan thing where you can get some extras
Yeah, but I
by
think
paying for it.
honestly I haven't really checked it, but I think there's a lot of like not necessarily porn, but like fetish stuff and like those type.
Hmm.
Last week I heard a story of a girl who posted stuff about her feet, and she made tens of thousands of dollars every month just with her feet. So yeah, I don't know.
Nice.
So here
What
we
are we doing
are.
here? What are we doing?
Yeah. Whose idea was this?
Yeah.
um, yeah. Well, Joey
Ah,
asked, "How are you?" I'm good. I'm just
Good
working
to
on
hear.
music. I'm posting some more content. I started posting a bit
I
more
noticed.
since
I
last year.
noticed. Now, but
Um,
Content.
but you mentioned that you started
content.
to like it again, right?
Yeah, I think I like when I started making music and then started blowing up, social media came up and it was really fun. You like shared what you did and it was like new. And then it became like um it became a business and it became a business with tactics and you had to like have certain tactics and
Mm-hmm.
certain type of posts and labels were doing it and it became like just very gimmicky and fake and just like yeah, just like, oh, you have to post this now and that now. And now I'm like, I had to just take a step back. And I think last year I kind of did that. I was like, I don't care if I post anymore. So I just posted whenever I felt like posting. So that was a lot of times not. And now I'm like, that fun, I see that again in posting myself and like, yeah, showing the stuff I'm making and asking questions about production. But I had to just take a step back to get out of the rat race of that is social media. Um, and now I'm
I
actually enjoying
totally
it.
disagree with you again, Jopke.
You
Okay,
can't
here we
disagree.
go. Ding ding ding.
You can't disagree with an experience of someone. That's just
Yeah,
that's
but
not
you
how
gotta
it
ask
works.
yourself why. I mean, when we all came up, we were riding this wave. I mean, everything exploded, and
Yep.
it didn't really matter what you did with social media. It didn't really like asked for some strategy or whatsoever. There was no work in it. Whatever you did was okay because we were on this wave of euphoria, and everything we did was okay. But of course, after a few years, people started to look somewhere else, and then that stuff actually started to matter. But maybe we've never learned that it mattered and that we had to make an effort for it. And then the numbers went down, and you lose interest. I think that's more of an explanation. I mean, then back then it was new. We were on this wave, like really everything. I mean, our first tweets were like, "We're sitting on the toilet," and we got like tons
Yeah,
of a response. But man, that's not what it's about. It actually became work because it's
it
a
became
business you
harder.
run. It's
Yeah,
you're an
but
artist and you have to make an effort.
yeah, it's that, but it's also connected to how social media, like the reach got less because back then it was and the EDM wave that we were riding, and social media was super easy. Like the organic reach was insane, and both of those things became harder over time, I would say. So now you really have to, yeah, work for it. As in, you have to
Depends
figure
what you
out.
Hey,
want out of it. I
and
I
that's
really
True. Yeah.
don't.
also true. If
Always.
you're about if this would be the hobby podcast, then it wouldn't matter. But this is the artist coaching podcast, and
Yeah.
it matters.
Well, I don't think so. I don't care about views in a way that I don't care. I don't strive for views. Let's say I don't strive for views. I don't. I love having a lot of views on a thing. I love when something like gets picked up, but it's not why I post. I want to post what I'm doing. I want to post what I like, and then hope people
That's
connect with
smart.
that. And then it's an amazing return that people then view it and share it. And it's like kind of like how people say, or how I say, like I don't do it for the money. I still love making money, but it's not like my main focus. So I think that's
Yeah.
why.
Dude,
Yeah.
I hope you get the fulfillment out of it. And if you're doing the same strategy in a year and still the reach doesn't go up and you still have fun with it, then I'm really wrong. But I'm gonna be blunt out here. I doubt it.
Yeah,
Because
I just never seen my I refuse to make my artist being an artist into a business. It's like it has business aspect. I do business stuff, but the main part should always be I want to create, and that's what I want to have above everything. So
The art
I'm
in
not gonna do
artist.
what it takes to I'm not gonna do whatever it takes, let's say, to keep J Hardway alive. If I don't enjoy it, then I'm gonna work an office
No,
job.
but that's another extreme because doing whatever it takes, there's a thin fight line in between, like letting it go last year and doing what it takes. But there's like
It's
really a lot of shades in
it's like I
between.
feel this is like maybe how I can explain it better. kind of feel like I need to do something now, to show who J Artway is, which is, you could say, it's for the business, but also because I want to like show who I am. But I'm just like, I'm not gonna have other people and industry people tell me what to do. I want to figure that out for myself, and I think that's maybe the big difference why I had to step back, because you have so many opinions about what you should do, but the truth is no one really knows until something works, and then they're the expert. And I think that's something that's why I maybe had to step back and just figure out what I want to do.
It's totally true. Nobody's an expert, and but
Except
it's
us three.
no. Hey, the last time I also said the only real thing is that we know nothing. We only share our experiences and insights and hope it helps. That's the
Yeah.
best we can hope for. But going back to the social media, you can just use it as an expression of who you are and your vision on music, but it
You
has
should.
to you have to make an effort also to make it is interesting, because you're now talking like a teacher, like, hey dude, I'm telling you what it's all about, not making it any fun because it's what it's all about. No, I rather be that teacher who tries to make the knowledge stick by making it a little bit more entertaining than it usually is. But it's two different types, and how you want to do it. There's no wrong here, but it's just a friendly.
You know,
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think we're way closer with our opinions than we probably think. But it's
but
just a
we
way
never
of it's
learned
also a way of
social media. That's
it's
the
a way
thing that was
it's a
I
way of look
was.
yeah, it's just a way of looking at it. And I just don't like I just like to look at it as something that I enjoy doing. And I think if I enjoy it, you will see that in the content. And what I also with a lot of creators don't like, sometimes I find a funny video. I saw this video of a guy who did VR. He's a VR bartender, and it's like super funny because today I only make whiskey sours, and he's like throwing with the
Mm.
bottles, and it's like it's funny. And then I go to his profile, and then he does only VR jokes and funny things in games, and you can just see in some of the videos like, oh, he wasn't really having his day, and it's like, then for me that's like, oh, I would never
No,
want to
no,
be that
but you
I
need
go
to
into the
ask
studio and like,
yourself.
oh, I need to make a video today, and it
Now,
will show in the content, and
but
that's
Jopke, at first you said like at first it was fun, and but you didn't do anything else, but it's stopped being fun for some reason. What was taking the fun out then?
a lot of people kind of telling me what to do and what not to do, and
Yeah,
what
but you could
worked
just
and
do
what didn't
you
work.
and fuck it.
Yeah, but that's hard to navigate, I think, if you're
No, but I think it would be
upcoming
really
artist. And
helpful to also be open about or seeing the possibilities that why shit isn't nice or fun anymore. And but for me, I'm really honest about it. When I saw stuff going down like reach engagement, man, that takes out the fun, because why am I doing this then? Making an effort and getting no reaction back. For me, that was also part of the fun. It could also be an explanation. I think it would be helpful for everybody who's listening. Also, that why did it stop being fun? Because you weren't doing anything different. Only the reach became less.
I was doing things different. I was doing things that I didn't really feel comfortable doing with my socials, and like forcing it is maybe the best thing. That just
Okay,
doesn't.
but you only did that because other people said you should do that, or was that
Not
also
only because
because the reach
you're
became
also,
less?
yeah, maybe,
But then the
but
views mattered.
yeah, but I never said the views didn't matter. I never
You,
said that.
mm,
I said it in the same thing with money. I never said money doesn't matter. I said it's not my primary goal, but I love earning money. And it's like,
mm.
with socials, I it's never my primary goal to go viral, but I would love to go viral. So it's like it is, and it is important for your career, but I think I'm making a choice here where I'm like, hey, I want it to be real, and I want to, like, not per se, of course you're going to have days where you don't enjoy making it, but I want it to be authentic and show the true me. And if that doesn't work, I deliberately made that choice that then I don't, yeah, then
Okay,
I
but
don't
it's
care about
social
that.
media. Why would people be interested in you. To be honest, that's not what our social media is about at all.
Yeah, but that's what we've talked about before. As in,
That's yeah.
why would people be interested in Jay? Because he's Jay. You know, he's living the life he's living, and just as we watch soap operas living other people's lives, but that's acted. The world is changing towards a world where we want to see real people living their lives, like vlogs, for example.
Are soap operas still that popular? I don't
No,
think
because
so.
it's all acted, because it's fake.
No,
We
yeah,
we we
because
don't want to
people
see
get
fake.
fed up with shit. To be honest,
No, they're still being watched a lot, but it like the younger
but a lot
generations are
less.
done with it because it's fake, right? It's personalities acting every day. And what people want to see today is like real people, authentic people living their lives. And that's what we've talked about before. Like what I personally miss in your socials is the personalities behind the brand. So base checkers and then Marlon, you see a lot, but you quite not never see you,
No,
and you don't really know a lot about you guys. Like we know you're a DJ, but that's where it ends. And
hmm
I would prefer to see more. Like
I know.
who's Marlon? What type of things does he do? What type of humor does he have? And same with you. Like you're also part of the brand. Like I want to see your face more. I want to know what your job is in this whole thing. And
Yeah.
for me
You know,
personally, I think
we're
that's
we're
where
not
Jay comes
aiming
in.
we're not aiming at you as being a consumer of our things. What we're actually aiming to show is what we do, what we stand for musically, and what you can expect when you
True.
come to see our
But
show.
that's very personal, and there's it's not right or wrong. It's just different ways. As in, some people decide to go more business wise and say like, hey, like
No,
personally,
that's not even a business thing. But why it's really interesting is the thing is with social media. I mean, disliking it, doing it, seeing it. I mean, you can do whatever you want. That's why I
yeah,
say you can express what you want. I mean, just think about it and do it.
yeah, you
It's
can do
so
anything.
important also, and also agree you cannot do wrong there. But
Well, you can,
um,
but
see, yeah, of course. I mean, you can get cancelled
I
real
think
yeah,
quickly. Yeah,
you can go wrong if you expect a certain outcome. If you expect a certain outcome but don't do the things necessary for that outcome, and then you're surprised, I think that's a wrong approach. Whereas I'm more of the I don't really expect an outcome, but I just kind of want to steer in something that interests me. If that makes
mm,
sense, that's very simply put. But like,
yeah.
no, but
um,
then go professionally. It for me,
yeah, but
it
that's
would
what
be
I'm yeah.
but it is professionally. I mean, we're
Yeah, of
professional.
course. But of course, I take time out of my day to edit videos, to think of videos. But it needs to be me, and that's what I mean with like, yes, of course, there's gonna be times where
But why
oh
does
man,
it needs to be you? Do
that's
people
what I
really want to? Yeah, that's what you want to show. But
well
you
yeah
should also think about.
me and my music, and I think
Yeah, but
that's what
yeah.
that's the only thing I can I don't have to sell. I don't want to sell anything that I'm not. I
Well,
think
you
that's
should be selling
Ralph,
because who else
what
would
you
be
but
said
not
selling your?
is
not something that I'm not. That's not
Ralph,
what I want to
what you
be.
said is interesting, as in you should consider what people want to see as well. That's true, but you need to put yourself first. As in, if people want to see porn videos, I'm not gonna make porn videos, right? So, I want
Dude,
to make
again,
stuff
the
that
extremes.
no,
That's
but I want to
not
make.
at all.
Let's say what
It's
if
always a
it's
great idea to start building from your own strengths and your own preferences, because otherwise it's not sustainable.
Definitely,
So you should look
definitely.
at
But
the
it should be
things.
something that people are willing to see.
yeah or
Trust me,
no it
if you
doesn't
don't get the views within a year, you're you're definitely gonna stop.
Yeah, but
That's like for
you will
sure.
get views if you are consistent with it. So
Not always. It should be something people are willing to see. I
there's
mean, I
yeah
always
but it's
people.
you can only be of yeah maybe you always act up a little bit, but I try to look as much as real as I am, and I don't if but then people don't like it, so be it. But if let's say having a bunch of tattoos is very popular and I'm like, oh, I should get tattoos because it's popular,
it's
I don't
again
want to be that.
extreme. But
Yeah,
why
what is it
edit?
not?
Why edit your videos at all? If it's you, why should you edit?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but that's what
that's the
I'm not
thing.
saying you shouldn't. I'm not
No,
saying
no,
you
but
shouldn't.
that's why I like James Hype. He's more like Jobke, looking into the camera and showing things. But
Less
of
editing.
course, he has some edited videos, but also a lot that he just talks like freely, and I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah,
That's the thing I mean, as in we want to see authentic, real stuff and not edited,
I
fake
totally
acting
agree.
people.
Most of our videos aren't edited. Maybe two different camera points, or sometimes three, or usually also just one.
Hmm.
And it's actually, of course, people want to see real shit, not like the videos we edited beforehand. When we made a teaser that's like 10 years ago. But I think it's something you should really think about. Like, are people actually interested? Also, it's one of those denominators to see this, and what's it that they want to see? If it's your
Yeah, I
music,
think you
Jay, yeah.
you're right. I think you should definitely consider, do they want to see this? But I don't think if if the answer to that is no, I'm not sure if you should change who you are for that,
Well, I'm
to
sure.
then
No,
fit into
don't.
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
That,
shouldn't.
no, but and that's kind of what I'm getting at. I think you're totally right. I think when I'm making my content, I'm like, hey, how can I get people's attention? But I'm still like, the overall thing of that video that I'm then editing is like, hey, I like this stuff. I want to see this stuff.
Yeah.
That's why I share it. But if I'm like, oh, now it's popular to make a video about going fishing, but I'm not into fishing, and golf isn't popular at all, but I want to do golf, I'm gonna make the golf video. So
So within your own, like,
yeah,
personality and
yeah,
strengths and things you like, you want to find, always you're optimizing.
yeah,
Sure,
and
you
yeah.
can
But that's
optimize.
that's why I mean I think we're way more on the same page on this subject, but it's just the
Yeah.
way of expressing it, or how I view
Now,
it,
the
or
thing is why it's so important for every upcoming or actually established artist to work on your socials. Marketing has become so much more important than before.
Yep.
And of course, music is a big part of your marketing mix, but not the whole marketing mix. Actually, a lot of the DJs I see right now don't even release music. I
it's
looked at Social Blade at like how hard people were growing, and I'm really proud to say that on TikTok, especially, but also Instagram, we're growing rapidly. So I was interested, like, okay, relatively, where do we stand? Some don't even grow as hard as you think, but some, man, they are massive. I ran into Nova, which is a girl that does techno/hard techno. She grows with 140 subscribers a month, and she only has 380,000. That's a lot. How many monthly
140,000.
listeners does she have on Spotify for that matter? Not even 80,000. The world has changed, and
Hmm.
I actually like it because it gives some action and some opportunity as well. But it also gives you, I mean, Holy Priest also, he's a hard techno act. Hard techno is actually doing a lot better than a lot of the other subgenres. He grows with 90,000 a month. And I looked at a guy like Kaze, who is more in our thing.
Case,
He,
right?
as well as we, Case, yeah, the
Yeah.
revealed guy, Case, Case, I never know how to pronounce it, but I like what he's doing, and he's doing a really well job. And I think his socials are really good as well. He grows approximately by 40, 50,000 a month, as well as we
but
do. So I like to see if, okay, if we're on that level, I
this
actually
is
look
one of
up
the
to him.
this is one of the problems. Let's see now, from this last minute, how fast you're comparing things, and
But of
comparison for
course, it's a business, and
yeah,
all
but
things are
comparison
relative.
leads also to a whole wrong focus in many cases. Like, I cannot focus on my music if it's streaming less, and there's always someone that streams more. There's always someone that's working harder. There's always so it's like it just becomes very quickly a game of with branding of
Yeah,
comparison.
but the promoter that will book you also looks at it like that way, and
Yeah,
that's
but
why I
that's what
say
I'm not a promoter. That's why, like, that's why promoters
no,
are
no, no.
promoters and
That's
artists
why
are
I'm
artists.
also saying, like, if this would be the hobby music podcast, then hey,
No, but
fuck
I
all that
disagree
shit.
there. I disagree there. I think it's very important to be your own sound, because if you're gonna copy others or compare to others, you're always gonna be behind
But
anyways.
nobody said you were
Yeah,
copying
but you're
sound.
comparing. So
But
it's
no, but it's
comparing
nice
leads
to know
to
you're on a right path that
comparing
actually
leads a bit
sticks.
to fear of missing out, leads to anxiety, leads to less focus on what it is you're good at, and that's something that's different. And I think also in this day and age, we're trying to still be famous within one night, and that's just not how it's. gonna be. And I think it could take 10, 20 years before you're gonna ever really your career could take off. And I think that's where, if after a year is nothing, if you think of, yeah, I didn't get any views, but maybe in a year and a half you'll reach one video that does then a million views. You never know. So
You
it's
know
kind of
that
like,
True, you never know, but it's all about probability and giving advice. I mean, this is still the
yeah,
artist coaching podcast, and that's stuff that actually really matters. And how the business. I mean, how many times did we not
it's a
get the
different
question,
view. I
"How
think
do
it's
I
a
get
different view.
booked?"
no,
Yeah,
But
well,
it
if you
has
have a lot of followers, which means popularity, you will get booked.
yeah, but if your goal is a lot of followers, you're gonna do things wrong from the very start.
No, the goal is
Yeah,
to
I think
get
so.
booked and to showcase your music on a stage. I mean, that's a common goal, I think.
you know
And
what the
and
goal is
those are all
eventually.
things that
Yeah, but
help.
like this is a simple explanation of that. It's like, hey, who's playing that stage? Oh, he has a cool, very cool T-shirt. He has tattoos. I need to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy. Then
No,
you're gonna
again
copy
with
what
the
he does.
extremes, but it's good to look at what other people are doing and why that might resonate with
It
people.
is, but it's also very much a can be a way down, or like a downfall, or like a trap. Let's say,
Of course, it
because
can be, but you don't have to invent the wheel yourself. You just look at people and things that they do might speak to you, and then you think, oh, that might actually be also something for me. You can get inspired. It's not always copying, eh? And I mean, we've also
true,
discussed what's
true.
copying and what's in being inspired, but it's still a relative business. And if you're doing really well, Jobke, but everybody in your music genre does better, then you're actually not doing so good because you won't get booked because
That's
the
the
rest has
that
an
but
edge.
that's but then you're never gonna be good. Then you're gonna be David Guetta level and still wondering why you're not the best. Then you're gonna be Tiger Woods and still wondering why you didn't surpass that other golfer. It's always gonna be then a game of comparison, and I'm not good enough, and that's just
No,
a
you can
that's
compare and be content at the same time.
well
That's
that's but that's very important to focus
But
on
that's
that
all
as well.
about optimization, right? It's about like you want to start from the ground up. The foundation should be you. And yes, if you're building a business, if you want to make money from your music, you want to optimize on that foundation. So you want to optimize, but you definitely want to make decisions on what am I willing to optimize on and what am I not willing to optimize on. So you really need to protect that you stick close to yourself. Otherwise, in the long term, you'll derail like
yeah.
Avicii or
But no,
me or
nobody here said that you shouldn't be yourself, huh? Then
no, but
not
I
me,
think
not
I think
Jobke.
what Joppe said as well. Like we're saying the same stuff, but in different words. You know, I say optimization, you say comparing. Like it's all about realizing that you're building a business, and it's actually an interesting question that lays behind all of this. And as someone asked in the chat, because it has to do with
Do
when
the
your
jingle
hobby.
first, man, or else
No,
I
but
won't.
no, but it has to do with when your hobby becomes your job, things change. And
Definitely.
I talked about this yesterday in a coaching session as well. The minute you mentally decide that you want to make music on, you want to make money on your music, different decisions need to be made. And I think that's where the disconnect is, as in
Yeah, but that's what I was 100% saying that when we first rode that wave, we didn't know about social. We never learned social media.
I
It
did.
just went well because everything went well. But that actually gave us a little bit of a disadvantage because we didn't think about what we were doing because everything we did was nice anyway. Post a pizza and it got views and
Well,
clicks.
not really. As in, I really had a strategy back then, and I really thought about what I should post and what worked. I
Yeah.
analyzed every single post. I thought about
Okay,
what kind
that's
of
going a
brand.
little bit too far. We don't analyze every single
No, but I,
post.
I had this thing with my old tour manager, which also helped me with marketing back then. We kind of made it a contest between us to come up with posts every week that would outperform each other. So on my own page, it's like a contest to keep me engaged into my own content because I didn't like social media in the early stages as well. But like gamifying it really helped me to make it more interesting,
Definitely.
right? And every week we had to come up with a new post for my page, um, just to outperform the last one. I would say, And that really helped me to engage more and to be more interested in the whole social media thing. So I really had a plan. I knew what I was doing, and I do believe that that was a big part of why the socials grew. uh, but again, organic reach was easy as hell back then. Like, it was just a post and you could reach 50,000 people in a blink. And that's different from today.
Well,
So
yeah, I think TikTok is actually still pretty pure, especially compared to an Instagram. But
yes and no,
it's
as in,
harder. Yeah.
no, you're right, as in it's easier, as in, if the post itself is great, then it will perform well organically. But the biggest difference is, back then algorithms were based on followers, as in your content was being shown towards your followers. So if you had 50,000 followers, 50,000 people will see it. Now your content is being shown by people who might be interested in what you do, but they're
Mm.
not necessarily following you.
Yeah, but still,
So
there's tons of people on TikTok that have one
definitely,
video that does 10 million views and the rest does like 2,000. So
yeah,
there's,
that's yeah, but that's because the creative, the video itself, decides on how good that is, as in if it
no,
relates
but
to the
that's
audience.
nice. The old chance also kind of stands out. I mean, for
Yeah,
somebody who hasn't any followers, there's now maybe more chance even.
yeah, yeah,
And
true.
the
I'm not
first
saying
mover
it's
advantage is gone, which I like.
I think a big part of this is also like you should aim in your in these choices, like how do you brand yourself and whatever, to not get it in the way of your like spirit, in your good spirit. I think it's something like you want to be positive, you want to feel good about what it is you're doing, what it is you're putting out. So it's like, for Ralph, it's probably a way more business approach when, let's say, we have to both make a video this week, and then Ralph will be very business-like maybe, and I will be way more like, oh, let's just randomly go out to a theme park and whatever. And you have to stick with what kind of you have to know all the options, but also stick what gives you the right feeling of moving forward. But then I also
Yeah,
think
I totally disagree. What we're doing is not at all business-like. We really show what we like. I think maybe in our profile there's a much more music to hear and to see than is any other profile. That's what it's about for us. But yeah, if you call business to think about what you want to show, I just call it expression. Yeah, then we're more businessy. But no, we're not at all business. We actually really like what we're showing, and it actually also helps us make
I
music because we really like to make new cool music, and especially maybe that's for us, maybe the gamification. We're exploring like fine lines between the sounds that we do, not different genres, but within our genre we actually try, hey, fuck it, let's try this rhythm and see what it does also on social media. That's actually really cool to get that feedback and to just experiment. And I think also for our music, it gets more diverse every time. Every time. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really helpful,
maybe
but
it actually helps
um,
your art. You know.
it can definitely help your art. We're continuing because we're already halfway in and we have a shit ton of
Yeah,
questions
but
to answer.
the thing is why I really want to go in on it. It's so important nowadays, and if you don't like doing social
but
media,
that
like I
Yeah,
don't like to try to sleep in a plane. That's not for me. If you don't like social media, then maybe this music business is not for you.
Yes, but that's so important to for people to have that kind of approach. They need to be like like what you're doing, you need to live with the consequence if you then don't do it. But the sentence of like it's so important nowadays and all the promoters are looking at it, yes they are. You're completely right. But if I put my focus on that, I lose sight of what is really important for me, and that is, yeah, not losing myself, let's say.
No,
And I think
and
that's
that's totally fine.
yeah.
But we have people here who ask us, should I quit my job? Well, if you don't like doing social media, don't quit your job because it will, the
no,
chances are,
socials are definitely a must these days, but the way how you do socials is very
But
personal.
I
As
also, I'm
in,
not
there's a
here,
lot of different ways how you can do it. You can
I'm
do it
not,
more business
sorry.
wise. You can do it more personal.
If you
But in
want to
the
be a
end,
professional artist, and of course there are those exemptions, but rest
Yeah, I think
assured, you need to have also socials that reflect what people just as your music does, or else you're not
I
gonna get the
think
bookings you want.
I'm also not here if people are interested in like, hey, I want to make money off my music. That's not why I'm here. I'm like, hey, if you want to become an artist, that's why I'm here. It's not about making money. It's not about either you quit your job or not. I think in being an artist is not something like that's a job on the side or whatever. It's just like it's your whole being. So you can be an artist still if you work a job. And I think that's why it's like that it has to give you some kind of fulfillment separate
Definitely,
from
I
any kind
totally
of like
agree.
separate from any money you make off it. It has to give you some kind of fulfillment, and I think that's where it starts. If you feel that drive somewhere, like if even if you make zero money off it, that's where you should start. And I think all the for me a lot of times all the numbers can block my view of like, hey, why am I doing this?
mhm.
So it's like if you want to make money, yes, you have to be in a way professional, but to me that's also just
But
not interesting.
you had a job cleaning barbecues, and at
Yep.
some point you stopped doing it and went full in on music.
Yeah.
What was the thing that made you stop doing cleaning the barbecues?
Money.
Yeah, it is, right?
But my goal was I wanted yeah, I mean yes, but that I'm not saying money isn't important. That's the whole thing. I'm just
You were
saying
like literally saying that.
no, I'm not saying that at all. No, then you're interpreting my words wrong. It's like
Money is one of
making
those
money is
things,
very
just as the
important, but
fulfillment, it's all important.
just it shouldn't cost you everything. It's just there's too many
But that's again an
there's too many
extreme.
way rich people. There's too many big artists who worry about stuff. That is just it's sad. Then you be better off on a little house somewhere working a 9 to 5 job. And I
I
think
know,
that's
but
important
now,
for us to
yeah,
share that with everybody. It's like it's not
yeah,
there's
but
no
you
other
try to
side.
make
It's
a
your life.
point
It's one life and
with
like
this. Yeah, you're trying to make a point with this extreme absolutes, and that's for me never a good way to talk about things because it's all always in the nuance and Um, it's like saying, would you rather be really rich but sick or really poor and healthy?
well, which
Yeah,
one is
what
it?
the fuck, dude?
Which
Of
one is
course,
it,
huh?
Ralph? Which one
I'd
is it?
rather be rich and healthy. Yeah, why not?
Hey, that's not
It's
an
an
option.
option, you know. And so, but it's no way you cannot get anywhere in those terms, and nobody says you have to be like this clown online or whatever. Hey, man, I'm the first one to say I'm not a clown, and I know the labels that would want you to do a stupid dance, butt naked in your studio. Of course, it will get
Yeah,
views. How nice is
but
that for them?
I just
But
disagree
that's
on the
not
like
not the point right now. That's it's about doing social media according what you would like to do, and what's also might get some interaction with the people. Like you should think about what would be interesting for the people I'm aiming at.
what
Who
of
are those
me,
people actually?
what
Eh?
of
How
me,
old are they? And what
which
do they do?
I
And
think you should rephrase that. Which aspects of me would be interesting to show to people? That's
yeah, and
maybe the
that's
question you
mainly
should
your
ask.
music and your shows. You play quite some cool shows.
Yeah, but no, I know, but like that's the question that beginning or big artists should ask themselves. It's so
Yeah,
important to what aspects that I already own can I professionalize
yeah. So
and
that you
don't
can
try
stick
to
as
search outside of that too much because
stick
you
as
can lose
close to
yourself.
yourself as possible. Because otherwise, I'll promise you, this won't be a lasting career.
Definitely.
You'll
No, I'm the
burn
first one
out.
to say if you have to
You'll
put on a
die.
mask, you'll wear down.
Exactly. So, point made. Stick close to yourself. Do social media. Otherwise, you're gonna fail.
Start the
Uh,
jingle, man. Stop
Yeah.
yeah.
talking so much.
I've had a list of topics. Let's see what we can skip. Let's skip everything. Let's
Probably
just go
all.
directly into the community questions.
Community questions.
Whew! 40 minutes. Okay.
Because it's just an
Uh,
interesting topic that can
it is.
get
It is. That's why I let you guys rant. Let's see. We have quite a few questions. I saw
Hey
one
Ralph,
coming
we
in.
gotta talk about commercial. We gotta commercialize that bottle of yours
Yeah, I know.
because I've seen many comments about it, or just here and there, and it's like
I
it's
mean, but
interesting.
it's so cool. Yeah.
It is very cool.
Yeah, we need it. A
Yeah,
question
I'll
from
ask them where they make
Sahara.
it.
Would you? What's the best way to approach labels as a newcomer? Would you say warm contacts bring a significant advantage? So having like being connected by someone. I personally would say that's already half of the work in this business. So being connected by anybody is always a lot better than having to reach out yourself.
Yeah, definitely. That's why things like ADE can be really helpful.
Yeah. But that's why the network is so important for a step for starting artists. Like you should start building your network, as in making friends in the industry, meeting with people. Like you don't have to get anything out of it. It's just more like getting to know them personally and see if there's a
Always
click.
nice to
Just
be
yeah,
able to send anybody a text like, "Hey, it
Yeah.
was cool to meet up at ADE,"
yeah. It's just
and
it's
then
super.
I have a track.
It's just super important to have real connections and also in real life because then if you have seen someone in real life, if you then go to email them, you approach it differently. You're like, oh, this is the kind of person I met, and it
Yeah.
just opens up the connection as well.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if you're like the socially awkward person, then just stay at home and focus on the music
No, go
because there
out,
are some people
try.
that are a
I
little
Go
was
bit
out.
annoying.
I was socially awkward,
Yeah,
and I
well,
went
there are
out to dance
people that
fair, and
I
I was there with my
dislike working with because I know how they are in real life.
no, but like that's
Also
something like
happened.
that's something you can also like train or just put yourself out there.
Yeah,
I remember going to dance fair and handing out my demo, and I was super scared. I remember handing it out to Alvaro and Laidback Luke
Oh, yeah.
and on a CD, and it was just the switch already from CDs, so they were also kind of like, "You really think
dude.
I'm gonna listen to this?" But yeah, I made some connections there as well. So
Yeah,
Here's
it's really helpful.
yeah, connections are the key in this industry. So start making friends right now. We have a question from Anton Lyon Harris. I've been getting the big urge to invest in some press pictures for social media and stuff. Can you guys
Hmm.
maybe talk about how that went in your past and even now? Did you link up with a photographer or was it your agency? And was it also uncomfortable for you to pose in front of that camera at first? All your tips and experience would be helpful. Well,
I I've done many shoots. And in at first, it's like it was my manager or agency who said you need some press pictures. So here we'll set it all up for you, and they'll have like clothing that yeah is popular or whatever. So you arrive there, it's super awkward. You think I don't know what I'm doing. They put makeup on you, and here's some clothes that you don't even like, but hey man, they're cool. So then you take pictures and you're not comfortable at all. So they look like crap, whatever. It happened actually a few times like that until I realized I want to be very comfortable on the shoot. So I'm going to see if I have any friends that are photographers. I'm going to go out with them or someone else that I'm comfortable with to shop for clothes to like, hey, these are going to be the outfits. And then we're going to rent a studio. It eventually is going to run up cost the same. But I have to say, my last I should have new press pictures, but my last press pictures I'm very comfortable because
We
that's
do
how I
too.
did it. We're just like, hey, let's have just a day in a photo studio, not like, oh, there's this shoot with this famous
yeah, don't make it
photographer.
too big. Yeah.
Yeah, just so go try it with a friend, and but I would suggest getting a professional photographer that kind of knows how to edit photos as well, and a professional
Yeah.
studio because it just makes it so much more clean.
To be honest, our first press photos were done by a friend of ours, and
Sick.
they still look badass, man. Nobody knew we were Dutch. Also, we looked like these people thought we were all from the UK. It's the ones that are sneakers music.
Face
They're all
jackers.
taken in Tilburg.
Which one was
Shit,
that?
my
With our Marlon
camera's
with
not
the tank
sharp.
top?
No, dude, that's later on, and those were the worst, man. Oh, hey, we even had one arranged by a agency back then, and the photographer made me sit on a like a house high stool and Marlon stand, so we were the same height. Dude, that was so wrong. And
Oh
no,
man.
it's like these old press pictures, and we were sitting on this block. Man, we
I'm
have
just
some.
googling it now. It's so fun to see all
Yeah.
those pictures. Yeah, for me,
Oh, it's
it's
actually
quite.
the one that gets our first press pics, memories, Facebook. But
Oh really?
you can't
I'll
do
uh
anything wrong, to be honest.
I'll just go here.
Yeah, what
Wait,
we
I'll
now
just.
do is just make a mood board first with people that we, styles that we tend to like, and then we have the same photographer who didn't start out as a professional when we started working with him,
Is
but
that
now he
Gerard?
actually does really high end stuff.
Is that Gerard or?
No, no, Casimir, he's
Oh,
great, man. He does all these
I did a
cool
photo shoot with
shoots.
him as
Casimir,
well.
yeah,
Yep.
he's amazing.
Yeah, he's good.
I'll
He's good.
uh
Yeah, I
I'll
like
I'll
him.
I'll, I'll have you guys listen. I'll grant you some laughs. Like if
Yeah.
the photo you see right there, right upper corner, that photo has been taken in my old bedroom where I actually started making music as well. And let's see what else. Like this is
You
like
should.
a
Oh, you should
more
see. I have an old one that's terrible.
Dude, you were
Why are your
handsome,
eyes
man.
closed?
you were
Why are your eyes
What
handsome.
closed,
happened?
Arman?
What
Like
happened?
these like
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
Oh, you posted yourself even.
this one is it was at in the living room of a friend of mine. Oh
Nice
dude.
T-shirt.
Like if you think about it, the level of amateurity in my career was high, but
Yeah.
we somehow had to make it work because there was no
I
money.
actually
So
like the ones you're in your bedroom, and
those
think
aren't
of it.
okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
you can do quite a lot with an iPhone nowadays. Yeah,
True.
because
it's insane.
a
Yeah,
shoot is really costly, especially when you do it
But
in a
you have
professional
to
studio.
aim big. So you want your face on a massive billboard and still look nice. So
That's true.
it's just it is nice to have them in very high quality. Although maybe that it's possible with iPhone. Like I'm also not that technical.
Yeah, man. If it's too expensive, that's not gonna what's gonna give you an edge.
Also,
Because let's say you have to pay 3,000 euros for it or two and a half.
3,000,
Look, yeah, nowadays I actually don't have a clue, man.
dude. I paid for
But
like I think I paid like
dude,
250, maybe
yeah,
500. But
inflation nowadays. But rent a photo studio for a few hours for one part of a day. Yeah, that's like 500 euros for only a morning.
yeah, true.
I think if
But
I would have no budget right now, I would just go with the iPhone and some decent lighting because I think you can
me
manage
too.
quite a
If
decent
yeah,
picture. And then if you
for
would have
socials for
budget,
sure. For
yeah, and
socials
then
for
if you
sure.
do have budget, go to a photographer. But when you get started, just pick an iPhone
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Yeah,
some
that's what I
creativity,
was
man. Like,
saying. Let's say money isn't endless, and you have to choose what you spend your money on.
yeah.
Spending it on a promo round to send it out as a promo or whatever. I think that's more important, but that's for everybody differently.
something also to realize about the photos and your brand. Getting to that, what people also don't realize, a big part of your brand is just your face. And this is something that's in
Yep.
the DJ world, the artist world, and the acting world is such a thing that you can't change, but it's good to be aware of it. It's just your
Mm.
face is your a big part of your brand.
You know what's fun?
So
I just told you about like the marketing strategy I had back then, right? And my friend mentioned that to me as in we're gonna do face marketing on you. As in every single thing you put out, album
has to be
covers,
a face
YouTube
on.
thumbnails, put your face on it. And I said, why? He said, because people need to know who you are. Like they need to recognize you. And
Yeah.
back then was a different time. Like people didn't recognize DJs. Like Fetty, Chesto, nobody knew their faces, but they did know their brand names. Now it's different, obviously, but back then everybody knew the name, Chesto.
Yeah.
But if you would ask, like, could you pick him out? It's like, no, I don't know how the guy looks. And now these days, but especially because of social media, everybody does face marketing. But back then, it was pretty unique if you started doing it.
Mm.
Just building the brand around your face.
Yeah, it's just important for especially with all these socials nowadays. Your face is big part of your brand.
You are the brand, yeah. Here's a interesting question, kind of related to the long discussion you guys had. Question from Jelly Boner. There he is again. Uh, Before you guys switched to full time music, did you guys work part time jobs or full time?
I was in college.
Me
And
too.
then just started.
Part time. I did part time jobs, as in like working at a restaurant, and at that time, yeah, the rest it was a restaurant,
Me
and I
too. I
worked in a
was
shop.
working. I worked construction and worked at a tennis club behind the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always worked part-time, also next to my studies, and also then make music. And then after my studies, I was like, I'm just gonna work part-time and focus on music, and
Mm.
that worked. So it's lucky.
Okay. Here's a question for Mickey Foden.
But is he
Hey
asking
guys.
maybe like, should you work full-time, or is it possible full-time, or should you really go part-time? Because
No, he
that would
just
be a
asked
big
if
decision.
you work part time jobs or full time.
Or full-time. So it's the difference between full-time and
Yeah, but we
part-time.
were. I think the difference is that we were pretty young when we
Yeah.
started, so a full
Mm-hmm.
time job was not really a thing at that
No,
age.
but I can imagine if you work a full-time job now and considering to switch to part-time. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe that's not what he means by the question, but then it's a different thing. We all came out of school basically,
yeah,
or young.
different age.
It's also
Question
hard
from
to
Mike.
judge.
Question from Mikey Foden. I have a release coming out on Friday, and I'm wondering how important you guys think it is to get listed on a 1001 track list through people playing it. I feel like
Very
that side
important.
is seen as the way to build credibility as an artist.
Not only credibility, but it's also for the at a label distributor talks to Spotify, and it's one of those things they use selling your track to get it playlist. And of course, the more people play it, the more people listen to it. But it's a good part of your sales strategy towards all the big
To
stores of
make a track
music.
that people like. Hey, that's the strategy. I
Well,
would
yeah, it's good if
advise.
yeah, if
I would
if
advise.
nobody plays it, yeah, maybe it's just a shit track.
Yep.
Yeah. Here's a question from Israel Carter for Ralph and Jay. I've noticed a lot of music festivals have been cancelled this year, which is disappointing.
Oh,
Can you can you talk about how it's impacted you personally, such as economic challenges due to less possible gigs, less exposure to different audiences around the world, and possibly a slight change in the music you make due to a change in countries you tour?
Huge impact for me, I think, booking wise. I mean, I am at this moment in time financially comfortable because of savings and music royalties and stuff, and still shows here and there. So I'm very lucky. But um, a lot of smaller local festivals have stopped since COVID.
Hmm.
It's harder to organize them. There's less insurance available, and because I never was a big headliner, I always was a let's say on a big festival a B headliner or a support act, which meant on a local festival in Belgium or Holland for 5,000 people, I could be a great headliner. I wouldn't be that expensive, but for me, it would still be a good fee. A lot of those festivals have stopped or just,
Yeah.
because they were organized by groups of friends or, yeah, there's just a lot less of those. So that impacts the amount of shows I can do uh, with a lot. But I wouldn't change the music I make according to that. Yeah, but different strategy. Definitely. Yeah, you have to get known with another audience. So it's like you have to think about where will my music be popular. But I wouldn't change yeah, what kind of music I made. Definitely not. Because that would change too much of myself, you know?
And the slight change in the music you make due to a change. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you answer that. And you, Ralph.
yeah, I didn't know a lot of festivals got cancelled. In my experience, actually, people still just party as much as they used to. But the landscape is different right now. Um, yeah, it's more diverse than it used to be, which is a good thing. But also makes it harder. I mean, the wave we were on, let's call it the big room progressive people, there's less spots for those, of course, because let's face it, progressive and big room isn't as popular as it was. To be honest, it also, when I now listen back, were um, quite some time further. Kind of sounds outdated. Um, technology has been not standing still. Think stuff, yeah, really evolved naturally, and it's an always changing world. But it's not only in music. Maybe in music, it's extra going extra fast. But yeah, you always have to adapt. That's Darwinism at its finest. Survival of the fittest means the one that can adapt the best. And yeah,
Okay.
you will have to face it everywhere. The world, yeah, there's no static
The
actually.
only constant is change.
Dude, it's a cliche for a reason, but it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
true.
And it's something like, you don't change your values, but change your habits. Is that what you talked about on the podcast when I wasn't there? Something.
Change
Yeah,
your
we
value.
talked about changing habits. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joey then said something like, "Don't change your values." Or I just like to think that it's like a nice thing. Like, don't change your values, but change your habits. I think that's
Ah, that could be. I
stay
don't
true to
recall.
yourself.
Could be.
That's so
Not
important.
from. It's not the title of a book. Then
Nope.
Well, it will be
that's for
my
sure.
book.
Nope. Here's a production question from Capco. When
Yes.
starting a new project, do you always start with the same process, melody first, then drums, etc., or do you switch it up not to fall into the same routine or templates?
For me, there's no. Most of the ideas actually arise when you work on another project. And then you get in search of a certain sound or whatever. You stumble up something, and then you start working on it also. And then you're like, okay, let's whoop. You leave it all the way up there in your project file in Fruity, and then later on, it's something you've learned, and then you start on that later. It can be a melody, a kick that you hear, or whatever. Mostly for me, it's melodies or kicks. Yeah, and that's how it always goes. And
Do you
then
always
you're
start on a
working on
blank template?
yeah, but usually I start the blank template because I know what I want to do,
Hmm.
more or less. I know where to start already. It's
Okay.
not like let's start the blank template and then yeah, what shall I do? For me, that's never how it goes.
Okay. And you, Jay?
Yeah, definitely not one certain process. I also like to start with an idea. So you have something in mind, or you heard something, you want to recreate it, or you find a sample on Splice that you're like, ooh, I could build a track around this. And if you don't know what to do, but make a bootleg, because first of all, you'll find those sounds that you then inspire you to make something new. But also, then you're like, hey, you really feel that, like, I mean, if you have start from a good song, you're already like very inspired by it, and you can just like, yeah, just get that like production feeling back, and then you can work on other stuff. And yeah, don't what I would suggest not to do is don't linger too long on projects. And also because sometimes I'm like, oh, what should I make? I'm gonna go through my old projects, and then you're like, oh, this is pretty good. Oh, this one also, and then you're kind of like, it's for a reason that you didn't finish it. So don't linger too long on projects, um, and just start something new.
Yep. Good tip. I have something to mention because another week,
You're
another
leaving
giveaway.
artist coaching. What?
Another week, another giveaway, people.
Another
Last
giveaway.
another giveaway, and last week we ended the giveaway of Jay, and did you already reached out, right?
What?
The guy
Giveaway?
who won already
Huh?
reached out to you.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did.
Uh,
He
Yeah,
texted me.
we've set a date for the call.
Okay, perfect. And did the guy
who's
reach
this
out to you,
Jay
Rolf?
you're talk about?
Did the
No,
guy?
Like that
I haven't heard
The
anything,
Simpsons
man.
guy, the Simpsons meme, like
Jay Sugar is gonna be
the
waking up
bushes.
like
No, oh,
next
are you
time he
doing the
logs in,
Homer Simpson? No.
Yeah, into the
like
bushes.
into the bushes. Yeah. But next time Jay Sugar logs into his Discord, he will be bombarded with all the mentions. But yeah, anyway, he won. Anyway, this week another giveaway, which is a 30-minute mentor call with this guy. I thought
Joey,
I thought I'd pitch in
Ooh,
there.
Joey.
I thought I'd pitch in there and do my thing. So a 30-minute mentor call with me. If you're interested and if you'd like to ask me anything you'd like music related, make sure to enter the giveaway in the Discord. It's live now. Next week we'll let you know who the winner is. But make sure to enter the giveaway in the Discord. Uh, let's break a new record because the record is 41 people entering the giveaway of Ralph.
41,
We
man.
need to we
But
need to
yeah,
go to 42 at least.
at least 50.
At least, exactly. The good news is though, this live stream has been watched by 70 people.
Oh,
Dude.
Last week was 50 or something, like 40. I
yep.
don't know.
It's
It's
going
insane.
up and up. Oh, and next week,
Oh
is it
yeah.
next week? Yeah, we have a very special guest,
Yep.
which goes by the name of Jim Van Hoof,
Van
also
Hoof.
known as James, and he recently had a collab with none other than Martin Garrix. He's a highly talented singer and songwriter, and he's going to be live with us in the actual podcast studio. Um,
Updated podcast studio because
updated podcast
there's
studio.
Ooh.
lightning, there's new gear. We're gonna
Yes,
rock it.
so the 12th of February, I think it is, if I'm correct. That's going to
Brr.
be an amazing episode, and I think very interesting for our
Ooh.
followers to hear the mind of a singer-songwriter, because yeah, you really do need them as a producer.
That's
Well,
true.
do you, or is
Well,
AI the threat? No,
we're
but
we're gonna
Jim is
ask
a
him as
really
well,
good singer. He will always be
Yeah. Yeah,
but we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask
doing
him
shit.
for sure about if he sees AI as a threat. So
Yeah, it's
very
Okay.
it's
interesting.
interesting though. So everybody should listen, and it's an interesting part of the game also that he can shed some light upon. Yeah, that's stuff that we don't encounter. It's a different ball game. So
Yeah.
make sure
Hey,
to and
definitely make sure to listen.
comment,
But
like.
before anyone leaves, we have a demo check right now in the Discord. So if you would like to get our opinion on your music, make sure to go to the Discord right now because we'll only be there for like I don't know 30 minutes or something. Or at least I will be, and I think Jay as well. I'm not sure if Ralph will be there.
No, not me. I actually
No,
have to finish my Samba de Janeiro 2025 version, man. Hey,
there you
cover
go.
is all
I
the way
will
Yeah,
up, you
still
know.
always play the Joey
Corky.
Suki version.
No, that's a samba.
Yeah, is that
That's
the
not
same?
Samba
real.
de Janeiro. Yeah,
No,
Samba
that's a
is a
different
different
one.
one. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna make a mashup of the two songs.
yeah, that's a cool one. Anyway, see you guys
Dun,
in the
diddle-dun,
Discord.
dun,
Thanks for
diddle-dun,
listening. Make
dun,
sure to share
diddle-dun,
this
dun,
podcast, hit
diddle-dun,
that
dun.
subscribe button, share it with anyone you know. Looking forward to seeing you again next week. Ralph, thank you. Jay, see you
Yeah.
in a couple of seconds.
Later.
Bye bye.
Can we?